So cool things happened to me in 2016. First one is I joined the Mile High Club for the first time. It's really exciting, yeah. I just wish it wasn't by myself. It was a trip back from Connecticut, and I was sat in between these two fat guys. And it was my brother. My brother had given me like Playboys, when I was like 14. I never thought I'd use them, but I shoved them in my backpack, and I was heading over to the East Coast, and then on my way back, I sat there and I'm like, this is stupid. I'm gonna do something cool. So I thought of this, and I went to the bathroom, and like the first time I went there, I was like nervous. I'm like, okay, because I thought when I put them in my backpack, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just do this, walk to the bathroom, and I didn't think I was gonna have to shove like a magazine in my pants and walk to the bathroom like this, all slow. So I get there, and then I forgot how small the bathroom is too. It's like this big. So I get in there, and I'm like. And I'm like doing this thing. I'm like, all right, we're gonna make this happen. So I was having at it, and then like almost at that point, I hear like a knock. I'm like, oh no. So I started sweating. I got out, went back to my seat. I was a little nervous. So I was like, okay. So round two was 20 minutes later. I went back and did the same thing, but I was trying way too hard. Like I was at like that point where it was like that very for guys you can relate, and girls you can also relate. So. For guys and girls, that first boyfriend you ever have, and girlfriend, I guess, when you're like grabbing that dick and you're just like get it out of him, like really as hard as you can, you're squeezing. I was like forcing it out. I'm like, come out, so as hard as you can. So just trying to make it. But like I had the biggest smile from ear to ear when I got out of that bathroom. It was a nightmare. I love watching scary movies, but I'm also like I still get scared of them. That's why I love watching them, because I'll go home and like I won't sleep well at night, and I put myself through like a misery. It's crazy. But every time I watch them, I don't care if it takes place in outer space. I always like watch them somewhere else besides my house, so I can like go. But I always like do this thing where like I get into my car and I do this every single time. I get in, I do this. I'm like. Everywhere, I lift up stuff in my back seat just to make sure nothing's there. I go home. If I'm gonna like take a shower or take a piss or anything, sorry. I open the curtains to make sure nothing's behind. It's a nightmare, and then I have to like keep like my computer screen on. It's really bad. I used to work at a gym. I was a personal trainer, and then back in California, and then in between my boot camp classes I would teach. I work at the front desk, and it was really cool because I had like limitless access and like all the women that came in the gym. So like whenever they'd clock in or check in, I'd be like, "Hey, Katie, 625 Cantrell Drive, apartment 244. You doing legs today again?" Yeah, they didn't like that so much there. No, but I got when I would go work out there, sometimes it was terrible because like I wear like basketball shorts, and every once in a blue moon, I feel like I was like a 14-year-old boy guy. Like I just get a boner. I'm like, oh no. I'm like walking out, like I sit in my car. I'm like, don't do this. And I'd be like, oh, it's gone. And I'd walk in the door, it's there again. I'm like, okay. Stand in front of like the front desk. I'm like, all right, think of something gross. Think of a guy. Think of an ugly guy. No, that's just like the word. I mean, where do you go from there? You can't just do. I've got a friend, and she's studying to be a pediatrician, but she could not say the word penis. She wouldn't say it. I'm like, that's anatomically correct way to say. You have to say like, hey, you're the penis. You have to say it. She could say dick and cock and wiener all day long. She wouldn't say that. And she wouldn't say penis. And I'm saying, like, what's going to happen when the inevitable time comes when you have to break the news to, like, the parents? You're like, listen, there's something wrong with your kid's cock. We're going to get to the bottom of it, but we'll figure. It's like, you can't say that. I've always been, like, really bad with, like, dirty talk. I can't do it. I get too nervous when I try and do it, and, like I'll just repeat what I said. So like, what are you gonna do? Like, what do you do? I'm like, I'm gonna lick from your chest down to your legs. Then what? I'm gonna keep licking then, I guess. Down further. Or or I'll start using numbers, and that's even way worse. Like, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I'm gonna look up your thigh like 6 or 7 times, maybe 8 if you're a good girl. I don't know. So I've got. Let's see. Can't do. Oh, that one. Oh, I can do this one now. Let's see here. Well, I guess we do that one. So I never plan on having kids. If I did, I hope they have Tourette syndrome. It's not that bad. I would hope it's like the Tourette syndrome where they just break out and like fucking like fuck shit just like tics like that. Be great. And I would make it my goal to find out their trigger word, like maybe it's like pineapples or something. And then I would like take my kid everywhere I never wanted to be, like work meetings, or if I'd probably have a wife at that point. So I'm like, oh, let's talk. I'm like, oh, I gotta bring Jeremy or whatever his name is at the time. I'd be like pineapples, and he'd start like fuck shit. I'm like, I gotta go. He's being an asshole. We gotta leave. We can't be here. I've seen a shit ton of like commercials lately, like for exercise equipment, like treadmills and like ski machines and stuff. And it's always like these ripped like dudes and ladies like in these like billionaire like mansion, or like the 18th story like high rises over New York, and they're just like out looking there just like having a good time, like yeah, I'm doing this. I'm like, no one, like how did they get like that? I want to see like a 38-year-old man in his grandmother's basement, like with like 2 inches of clearance, like full rise, sweating and not having a good time and just like panting, and just that's what I want to see. I'm like I would see that, I'm like, I need to change my life. I need to do that and get better. But I mean that's what they do. They just make everyone look so good, and it's bullshit. I think they need to like relate to people more. I was taking a shower yesterday, and I saw. I took one today, but this happened yesterday, so don't. I was taking a shower yesterday and today. If it makes you feel any better, today I took a shower, and I saw a spider in the corner. I was like, I sprayed it. And I was thinking, like, God, what a fucking terrible way to die. Drown in semen. So I've been taking the women's self-defense classes. Just because, I want to, like, if I ever, like, decide to do something to a girl, I want to know what's coming so I can stop her. And then, like... Stop it. That's not. Don't. Let's see here. Oh, so actually, this one's also good. When I was working at, how much more time do I have? 2? You got a little bit. For a shift. All right, awesome. I got a few more. That's fine. Great. All right. So when I was at the gym, I got 2 more then. When I was also working at the gym, I would also like write down jokes, but like I didn't have any like necessarily like I would just write. I wouldn't have like the context for them necessarily. I just write down like, oh, that's kind of a funny idea. Let's write that down. And I would shove in my pockets, and then when I'd be at the front desk, we'd have like these walkie-talkies, so whenever you walked somewhere, I'd have to like pull it out, like, oh, someone's at the front desk, great, I have to be right back. And I remember doing that one day, and I couldn't figure out where the walkie-talkie was. I was pulling out my keys and stuff, and I knew I had notes in my pocket, I just didn't know what was going on, and I'm walking back to the front desk, and I hear this old man, sir, you dropped something, and I'm like, oh no, what's on that? I remember this old man, just like, he was like looked like a question mark. He's like trying to get it. And he finally picked it up after me staring at him for a minute. I'm like, okay, get it, what is it? And he opened it. I'm like, just hand it to me, don't open it. He opened it, and he read it, and he like looked so disgusted and gave it back to me. And I'm like, oh boy. When I looked at what the note said, it said, spoon feed that vagina with lube. I'm like, oh. And I don't know where I was going with that. It was an idea that I could maybe do. And I'll end on this one. I've got 2 bad habits. Licking my lips when I get nervous, and getting nervous around children. So walking my niece to school was always a fucking nightmare, It was like, here you go, Ashley, that's it for you, walk off, I gotta go this way. Like, All right, thank you guys.